G'day, Steel Nation. How you going? It's Mark here, Mark David from Steel Nation Australia.
What's going on, Wisconsin? Oh, what's that? Let's go! Baby! Yes! Yes! Let's go!
What's the deal with the schedule?
So I think the stereotype that we drink Fosters, and the first Foster I saw was in Pittsburgh. It's a true story.
Yeah,
The
I've
first
only
ever
seen-
Foster I saw was in America. I've never
Well, I
seen one
thought that
here.
was like Australia for beers.
For what? Alrighty, Steel Nation, welcome back to the Steel Curtain Network, and also welcome back to G'day Steelers Nation on Steelers Nation Australia. It's always funny because, like, when I start these podcasts or these lives, these are these are the legit first words I've spoken when I wake up my time at 7:41 a.m. is what I'm recording in the future, from the future, talking about our Steelers, talking about how I was wrong about Aaron Rodgers. That's my key topic today in this podcast from G'day Steelers Nation, episode 29, I believe, from all the way back when I said that Rodgers was not going to be a fit. It turns out he was going to be a fit, throwing 4 TDs and going absolutely insane. However, before I get into that, and I'm going to also go to the live chat too, because we have Steelers Out West here that says Victory Monday. And there was one team out there that didn't have a Victory Monday, and I am beyond happy that they didn't. Now, our Steelers played good in terms of quarterback play, receivers, O-line needs help for sure. The D-line struggled. There was a big play by Ramsey. You had Chris Boswell with a massive kick. It was a fun game, a crazy game, a very entertaining game. But at least we won. At least we won the game. Being 1-0, going into New York, MetLife Stadium versus Justin Fields. And also to applause, man. Shout out to Justin Fields and their team. And Aaron Glenn and the Jets and their organization, because they were ready. They were beyond ready to play our team defense and to go, toe-to-toe and a shootout with our Steelers. So I did not expect that to ever happen. I thought it was going to be, I said last week, 27-0. I thought Ramsey and Porter and TJ Watt and Cameron Hayward would come out and hold them to 0. Nope. Justin Fields, he has definitely improved as a quarterback. Their plan was to run the rock. They did that. Breece Hall, fantastic running back. Jets O-line, pretty good. So they definitely had a game plan to almost win. And I say almost because we have the Wizard of Bowlers, Chris Boswell. But I do want to go back to yesterday or 2 days ago. That was Rams versus the Bills. Not Rams. Rams won. The Ravens versus Bills. And this guy right here, John Harbaugh. I saw a stat out there on Twitter because the Ravens blew a 15-point lead. There's a stat out here. It says teams with 40-plus points, 235 yards rushing in a game were 277-0, including playoffs. Pause for dramatic effect, including playoffs. That guy there, John Harbaugh, and the Ravens were 277-0, including playoffs. Now they are 277-1. They lost. Anything can happen in the NFL. That's why I am so passionate about Mike Tomlin, and I think people give him a lot of flack for maybe a bit too much flack, right? Mike Tomlin is a great coach, good leader, going to the Hall of Fame. It's hard to win in the NFL. And the Ravens stuffed it up. The Ravens had a 15-point lead, and they went into their shell. They started running the rock and was not expanding the football down the field. The Bills got a turnover. They scored points really fast. Next minute, they're lining up for a field goal to win the game, 41-40. So it's a good feeling to be Victory Monday. That is our Steelers winning over the Jets, 34-32, and the Ravens struggle. I think it's fantastic, right? So you got to. This is how, even if you look, if we win, you'd rather struggle like that and win that way. You don't want to struggle like the Ravens did, and they put up 200 something yards. Derrick Henry went off. If you got him in fantasy, I think in our fantasy comp, Yuli took us over. It was 18 carries, 169, 9.4 yards average, 2 TDs, like 238 yards of rushing. And here we are sitting, oh my goodness, they lost by 1 point. So it's good to see. It is good to see. So I wanted to start with that first Steeler Nation, was that the fact the Ravens lost. But I'm going to go to the comments now in 100%. That's where the phrase was coined, right? Back in the day, Daredevil says Wang Harbour, because one of the fellas from the Steelers preview came up with that term too. So good day, Daredevil, good day, Gene, good day, Steelers out west. You guys are very, very knowledgeable on your Steelers and know about the SEN days and the Steelers preview. So Steelers, Daredevil says, our defense sucks and the season is done. It was not the best defense, but I do want to start with our quarterback first. That is Aaron Rodgers. And I will say with 100% clarity that I was wrong. There was 6 months ago that I was saying that Rodgers, I didn't want him here. I thought he had the ego. I thought that he was going to be a distraction. I thought he was going to be washed up. I thought that he was going to be, and there's still time to tell as well. It's only one game. The overreaction now is like, I'm going to go buy a jersey. But I was not on the Rodgers train to come to Pittsburgh and play football. I just didn't want it to happen. I was happy to go into the season with Rudolph, or I was more than happy to go and get Justin Fields if he were to sign here. But as we know what happened yesterday, g'day, the big Ragu, what's going on? As we know yesterday, 100%, still out west says here, gave up a 15-point lead with 4 minutes and 35 left. That's pretty bad. That's bad for the Ravens. Look, if they're trying to win the division and trying to come number one overall seed, they had to beat Buffalo, and you got them against the wall. You got them on the ground. You have to finish him, and they were too light near the end. They gave it up. They lost the game. But going back to Rodgers, I was wrong. Hold up. That's a good point. We have Daredevil here from the chat says wrong about every QB since Super Bowl Kenny quarterback Kenny Pickett left. I think I was wrong because when last year I said they won't go and get Justin Fields. There's no way. No, before that I was like they won't go and get Russell Wilson. There's no way they're going to get Wilson. Steelers aren't going to get Wilson. Signed him. A few weeks later, there's no way they go and sign Justin Fields. It's not a Steelers thing to do. Signed him. There's no way they go and sign Aaron Rodgers, future Hall of Famer, to orchestrate the offense and work well with DK Metcalf and Arthur Smith and Jonas Smith. No way, not going to happen. And here we are. So I have been wrong about every single quarterback that the Steelers are going forward with. But I do want to give a big shout out, man, because Rodgers did it with a professional look. Here's a picture of him walking off the Jet Stadium with his hand in the air. And as he was walking off with Mike Tomlin and Cameron Hayward, he was, giving the crowd something back, a few waves, a few cheers as he was getting booed. He walked out then to MetLife Stadium, Jet Stadium, and the crowd was going after him. So you can't not help but respect that from my point of view. That I did say it was going to take me time, take me a few months to get over that. My perception of Aaron Rodgers was X, and it actually really isn't even that. The guy was a true professional out there yesterday, throwing the football to DK Metcalf on a screen, and then he runs away for 25 miles per hour down the sideline, or linking up with the first TD to Ben Skronik in a play action pass that he really sold so well. Skowronek had about 15 yards clear, 10 yards clear. Arthur Smith drew up everything so well in this offense, and everything was working. Now, the protection on the O-line definitely needs to be addressed. Broderick Jones was out there on ice skates. There was some complications in, I think, even the left guard was Ciamalo. Maybe sometimes it was Frazier. I think overall, if you were to give a grade to the O-line, to how well they protected Aaron Rodgers, it's an F. They didn't do that too good of a job in terms of protecting him. He got sacked 4 times. And that's what I saw last year with the New York Jets. I saw him getting sacked and hurried and moved around, but he did have 26 TDs and like 8 interceptions. Yesterday, he had 4 TDs, one being a dump-off pass to Jonas Smith at the same time, though. Who's the other bloke out there? Patrick Mahomes does that. So you count it. And yes, his TDs weren't like deep, wish balls over, or what do they call them? Deep long balls to from Russell Wilson, or what they used to call that, the air ball or whatever it was. It wasn't like that, but it was precise passing to the guy that had to get it straight away, made a quick cut, ran up the field. He had a good connection with Austin. He had a great connection with Skowronek and the ball, play action pass again to Jalen Warren. And as soon as the Steelers get back to running the football and building the O-line and getting better each week, maybe that was like a preseason. Maybe they were meant to fail to a certain degree, and we will talk about the defense very soon, but maybe they were meant to fail from that point because it's preseason and they need to gel and start to. And by the way, shout out to the Jets defense. They were freaking awesome. They were unbelievable how they played. But Rodgers out there, true professional, just zing the ball where it needs to be. And he got 4 touchdowns. And he's now pretty much said to the NFL world, I can still play. Get off my back. Here I am. So I was wrong. I'm happy to be on Pittsburgh Steelers radio, SCN, Steel Curtain Network, Steelers Nation Australia. I'm happy to be wrong about Aaron Rodgers, that when he signed, I wasn't a fan. 2 weeks later, I wasn't a fan. 3 weeks later, I wasn't a fan. 4 weeks, 1 month, I wasn't a fan before he signed. So I'm happy to be wrong about this guy leading our team this year in 2025. The big question is, before we go to a quick break, the big question is, can we keep him upright? The Steelers offense, can we keep him upright? We have to. Oh boy, there's a comment here from Steelers at West says the offensive line and defensive line played. However, we have to remember that it's only week 1 and not to overreact. It is 100%. We have to chill, give it time, and relax. We got to win, being 34-32. And I don't want to go down the road of saying Broderick Jones is a bust, or it's time to trade him or to cut him. I don't think football works like that. I think if you are playing not the best football, it's always time to get better. I think it's week 1. There is time to adjust. There's time to learn. There's time to, get back to the drawing board. I don't believe about, he sucked, he's terrible, let's cut him. Or he sucked, he's terrible, put him on the bench. That's not going to happen. The Steelers are going to go with the 5 that is Jones, Ciamalo, Frazier, McCormick, and Faatanu. And the defensive job is to get past them. This is football. I think sometimes we forget that it's like fantasy football where it's like our best team versus your best team. I definitely did on defense, but it's football. Those guys came out, played better football than we did on the offensive line. Aaron Rodgers saw that, started to throw the ball quickly and fast to his receivers and get touchdowns down the field. He had a quick release of like 2.5 seconds or 2.9 seconds down the field. So Aaron Rodgers, he adjusted, and that's why I was wrong. I was thinking he's going to get killed out there, which he did. There was times where Rodgers was getting, rolled over because they couldn't keep him upright. They couldn't develop plays down the field. But how it all worked out, they didn't need to. They just found DK Metcalf and they found Johnny Smith on a touch pass, or they found, Warren outside on a play action release, or they had Ben Skowronek. It was fun. To be honest, Steel Nation, it was fun. It was a good game. And also to the fact that we can be 34-32 with a Chris Boswell 60-yard field goal, and we can be 1-0. We can also correct this and come back to the Seattle Seahawks home game. That is something I did not expect. I did not expect that to happen at all. Alrighty. Yeah, what do they call you? It's my sorry, still, man. I used every single analogy for a different type of ball, and they were called moon balls. They were the Russell Wilson moon balls, where you didn't see that with from Aaron Rodgers as well. All righty, Steel Nation, let's go to a quick break here. And before I do, on this quick break on Steel Curtain Network, because I'm recording live on Steelers Nation Australia for a podcast that will come out soon, already is out right now as you're listening. I'll say it one more time, one last time, and we're going to move on. One more time and one last time. I was wrong about Aaron Rodgers, and I'm very happy to when I go to Dublin, Ireland in a few weeks' time. Do I buy his jersey? Do I buy number 8 or do I buy number 9? So I was wrong about Aaron Rodgers and happily wrong because the Steelers had a crazy game, winning 34-32 over the New York Jets. So let's go to a quick break here on Steel Curtain Network, and we'll be right back after this. Alrighty, Steel Nation, welcome back to the Steel Curtain Network, and also welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. I've got a quick chat here from Daredevil. Daredevil says he wants me to buy number 97. Hey, look, I love Cameron Haywood, but there's a question out there. I was either going to title this episode, it was either going to be I'm happy to be wrong about Aaron Rodgers, or was Cameron Haywood a distraction? And we have to talk about the defense. As much as I love the win and the offense, and I love defense, but we won 34-32. To me, and Ragu in the chat says as well, where was 97? I don't think he was anywhere to be found. I think the D-line got their they were pushed backwards. They were pushing ice skates. They were just taken care of, basically. The O-line was better. I don't know how to explain it. They had no anytime the Jets were running down the field 10 yards at a carry. Justin Fields had all the time in the world to throw the ball around. Justin Fields looked like an all-pro out there. Our defensive line wasn't ready. They started Isaiah Loudermilk, Keanu Benton. If you go watch some tape or highlights, you'll see him get pushed back and pushed over. You'll see that Cameron Haywood's pushed around too. They were double teaming TJ Watt. Highsmith had his chances. And yes, right near the end, the last defensive stand, they came out and got the job done. But for a defense that is being paid as the highest paid defense in the NFL, number one, and Cameron Haywood with all this stuff in the background saying, I want incentives, I want a new contract and this, and he got his incentive for $3 million. I think it was a distraction. I'm hoping that from this point that the distraction can no longer exist and we simply move on and the team gets better. Because I do want to bring something up. Jeddah has another good point here. I think they'll get their S together. Broderick is more of a concern because, like Wes said, it's week 1. I do want to bring something up though, right? And Calf says here from the comments, most defense look tired. Don't get me wrong. I'm not in any shape, but if I was in the NFL, but they did look tired. A few times you saw that that Keanu Benton and Cameron Haywood was gassed. So maybe it's week 1 because Cameron Haywood didn't really play in the preseason. But I think as well with the contract, dispute or the overall Cameron Haywood story the last few weeks has been a distraction, I think, for the fans and for the team. I'm just hoping they get it back together. But I do see some accountability because I saw this tweet from Nick Farabaugh, and this was Patrick Queen talking about his defense. And Patrick Queen said this, when talking about the Steelers and the defense, we played like S today. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We played like poo. And if we keep playing like that, we're going to get our bleeps kicked. Queen's not wrong. Queen isn't wrong. There's accountability. I don't think I saw him too much in the mix of getting tackles. I didn't really see Peyton Wilson in the mix getting tackles or making plays. TJ Watt was one of the only players out there I thought was trying and trying hard to hit. Alex Highsmith got the sack near the end. Jalen Ramsey played pretty well too. This guy who knocked over, it was 5-on-5, and he took out Garrett Wilson, had one of the best form tackles I believe I've ever seen in NFL history. It's like he waited for the guy to catch the ball, and Garrett caught it, stood on his feet. Next minute, lowered his shoulder, pushed it, drove through the hips and knocked him over. Like the ball came out. How much better can you have a tackle from Jalen Ramsey in form tackle to end the game and send him home 34-32? But I do believe there was somewhat of a distraction with Cameron Hayward, and this D-line is definitely missing. Well, maybe not missing, because I say missing, and the minute I say missing, doesn't make sense because Derek Harmon hasn't played yet. But they are missing that force up front. And can that force be Derek Harmon? Are they going to go Cameron Hayward, Derek Harmon, and Keanu Benton? Is Keanu Benton maybe in the wrong spot? Should he be playing end? Should someone else be playing nose tackle? So there are a lot of questions on that D-line. They cannot simply allow 183 yards rushing on the ground. That is incredible. Like this gives me vibes of, or thoughts of what happened in the playoff game where Derrick Henry ran over you. Now, unless we are like the Bills and Derrick Henry runs 150 yards again or 180 yards, and the Ravens screw up the game yesterday and lose by 15 points, then yeah, it's okay. But I guess to a certain point, the Jets ran all over us too. The Jets had about 182 yards rushing, and they still lost the game. So with all this rushing and with all the good play from the Jets, we snuck away with an Aaron Rodgers win and a Chris Boswell win. But at the same time, not every week is that going to be it's not going to be the same result. We're going to lose games by 32. If there was no Rodgers, to be honest, I can't believe I'm saying this, but if there was no Rodgers in that team yesterday, we would have lost. We would lose 32-17. Rodgers, this guy here, he definitely helped us out. So the defense for me, I think, looked weaker than what I thought. I thought there was going to be sacks, and Justin Fields was running around crazy. Did a really good job 2 or 3 times. They had him in the pocket. They had him dead to rights, and he scrambles out and runs away for a pass or a first down. And it's like, you can't let that happen. You can't have the contain. I thought also the defensive scheme sometimes was really poor from Terrell Lawson and Mike Tomlin. I'm going to drag him in too. As much as I like Mike Tomlin, the overall scheme for it, how you let Justin Fields run around on that play action boot leg. I called it during the live when I was talking live here on Steeler Nation Australia. As I was talking live and calling the game, I said Justin Fields is going to play action pass or bootleg this football and fake it and then run to the end zone. Why is there no spy? Why is there no safety on him? Why is there no one running the RPO with a run pass option that could be the quarterback or the running back? It just seemed like they bit everything on the running back like they did in the Ravens game. And that kind of stuff, it kills me. It absolutely kills me. With our defense the way it is, on paper, maybe just not yet, we were talking about top 5. It doesn't look like a top 5 defense. It looks like a bottom 5 defense right now, allowing too many points. I'm just hoping that they can get it together. Steelers at West says we need Harmon, and any news on Elliott. As for now, I don't know if there are any news on Elliott. By the time this podcast comes out, there could be news on Elliott. He went down as well. And Jquest says here from the live chat, Ramsey was balling, 110%. Ragu says here, not all playing the ones in preseason, may need a week or two to gel. I think so as well. And like we all do, every Steel fan's going to overreact this week. Being 1-0 is fantastic. Starting if we beat the Seattle Seahawks, being 2-0 is fantastic too. But at the end of the day, we got the job done. We won. Chris Boswell was an absolute legend. It's just things like that. Jeddah says here from the live chat, Harmon coming back in a few weeks should also help. Let's hope so. I do hope so from the defensive standpoint. Sean says here, Black is built more like Casey Hampton and then the 3-4 end. So maybe they're going to move pieces around the defensive line, move them all around and try and figure out. Look, you just can't allow, as Steel fans know, you can't allow 183 yards rushing. Gene Smith said from the live chat says, Beanie Smith, is he coming back? He could do. I don't know. I thought there's a few points I wasn't there. Darius Slay got beat a bit. I thought Ramsey was good though. Joey Porter went out with an injury. I don't know if he came back. But the defense just obviously cannot allow 32 points. But at the same time, aren't we very lucky that Rodgers is our quarterback and we have a guy I think that's the first time they scored 30 points since in a week one game since 2016. I didn't feel any stress. Like, I felt so much more stress. The fact that the defense had to stop the Jets offense. I was thinking, no way, man. We can't stop them. There's no way that happens. But at the same time, when we're going down the field with Chris Boswell, you get him in range, and Chris Boswell, the Wizard of Oz, the absolute legend, he goes down there and kicks a 60-yarder. For the first time in NFL history, Chris Boswell kicked a 60-yarder. Jay Quest says here that the Wizard of Oz needs to get paid 110%. I do have another photo as well. I think I do have with the Wizard of Oz here. Yeah, celebrating the 60 yards. Chris Boswell, longest field goal in his career. He is just money. He's a Wizard of Oz for a reason. And Mike Tomlin called him during a press conference or after the game. He said, our kicker is a serial killer. So I prefer the Wizard of Oz nickname than serial killer. But Wizard of Oz is cool, calm, collected. He's the best kicker in the league by far. To give a shout out to the Browns too. The Browns had a chance to win that game versus the Bengals. Their kicker, starting with an S, I can't remember his name, Slyzak or something like that. He was 39 yards out or 29 yards out, shanked it to the right. I don't think if the Jets kicker, Nick Folk, if he was 60 yards out, he would be able to bang it through the middle for a win. So Chris Boswell is 110%. He's the best kicker in the league. They need to pay him. He's 30 years of age. If you're going to give anyone incentives, I would give Chris Boswell incentives. Because also I had a stat too. That was from from the Twitterverse, Twitterland, talking about Chris Boswell. And everyone's saying that he's on cloud 9, 60 yards. It was insane. And it still had room to boot too. It had like another 10 yards. So another stat here I saw is most field goals from 50 yards plus since 2020. Chris Boswell has 37, 86%. Kai Fairbairn has 34, 81%. Brandon McManus, 31, 62%. Daniel Carlson, I think he's from the Raiders, 75%. Chris Boswell is money. He's money from 50 yards, 86%. So this guy definitely deserves his recognition, respect. I think to me, he won the game. Rodgers won the game. And our defense, big problems are the defense, O-line, Broderick Jones, running game. There's a lot of questions to have. A lot of problems need to be solved. But at the same time, a win is better winning this way than it is to lose. We would have been all salty. We would have been so salty and pissed off if we went 0-1 and we lost this game 32-28 or 32, whatever it was. We would have been really, really bad. So shout out to Chris Boswell, man. He's insane. Chris, they got to pay the man 110%. 110%. Sean Manahan says here from the chat, imagine Boswell kicking an 80-yard field goal. It looked like it was good from 70. It really did. It looked like it was good from 70. What I might do, guys, for the last few minutes on Steel Curtain Network and on Steelers Nation Australia, in the chat live, put in the chat, who do you guys think was the best player? Who was the best player on the field? And if you want to, everybody can write. If you want to, you can write Aaron Rodgers, because that's my guy. Even though as much as I was against him, he played fantastic football, getting 4 TDs, 3 TDs that he earned. And he threw the ball further than 5 yards. Rodgers found Calvin Austin numerous times. Calvin Austin went up there and fought for the ball. The scheme with Arthur Smith was cool, calm, collected. I think everything was open. There were some things that didn't work, but it's not the Matt Canada offense anymore. Big shout out to Arthur Smith, says J-Devil says Arthur Smith's play calling. Some of the play calling was really good. Like, it was like guys were wide open and you're thinking, well, hang on a minute. This is only the start, only the beginning of our Pittsburgh Steelers. And you've got wide open players and they're rub routes, or there are players getting pushed around or taken out of the play. And if they're wide open, Aaron Rodgers is going to find them. And the best part, Aaron Rodgers probably can't now. He probably can't run. He's 41 years of age, a lot slower. He's not a mobile quarterback. He can't run like he used to, but he can use his brain and his football brain to dissect and move the football down the field And that's why I was against him. I was like, no way, dude. He's washed up. I think he played not that great with the Jets last year. But here he is now with the Pittsburgh Steelers playing better football. So, yeah. Yeah, it's a good question, Daredevil. So Daredevil from the chat says, I wonder who Pepper would pick. Pepper's another fan here in the live chat from Steeler Nation Australia who doesn't like Rodgers, and that's fine because I didn't like Rodgers either. But I have a lot of comments here from Steeler Nation Australia on my live. Calf says Rodgers, Pittsburgh. Toddy says Aaron. Gene Smith says Mr. Rodgers. Daredevil says Iron Rodgers. I think he definitely was the best player. Jay Quest says here, Aaron Rodgers definitely read the defense and made plays. And Chloe Smith from the live chat says, I like what I saw. Me too, Steeler Nation. I am pumped up. I am ready to go pretty much all week to do podcasting and Steelers talk. If you like this Steelers talk on Steel Curtain Network, please make sure you check out Steelers Nation Australia as well, where you'll come and join the live chat with Sean Manahan, Daredevil, Chloe Smith, Jay Quest, all the guys in the live chat and girls that are awesome. And just good people, man. You guys are good people, good Steelers fans. We got the win that was 32. No, it wasn't. No, it was 34. So this is what happens when I record in the morning. I got to try and wake up. It was 34-32, and Aaron Rodgers was your MVP of Steelers Week 1. And as I said, I'm wrong about Aaron Rodgers. It's time to move on. It's time to get this team better. We need this team to get better on defense. They got to figure the run game out, the run stop, and they got to figure out on offense. Basically, they got to figure out the trenches. They need to figure out the offensive line and D-line. So thank you, Steeler Nation, for checking out the Steel Curtain Network and also checking out G'day Steelers Nation on Steel Curtain Network. I'll see you guys later on. All right, Steel Nation, we're good. We are good. I had to record that live there, so I've got to go very soon. Thanks for that. It's I'll probably try and do that every week. So I got to try and I record the podcast with Steel Curtain Network. I might try and do that every week if I can, because it's a big day yesterday. Yesterday was a huge day. I wake up at 3 a.m. We do all the football stuff. We do the podcasting. We do all that kind of shit. And then I go down the pub for beers, and then the Ravens lose, and then I'm fucking tired. And then I wake up this morning at my 8 o'clock in the morning to talk Steelers football. I grab the audio. I give it to Jeff Hartman from Steel Curtain Network. Boom, got a show. So I hope everyone's doing well. Yeah, fuck you, Ravens. Oh, I can. Yeah, I can't swear on the other one. I can't swear. So, yeah, fuck you, Ravens, man. The Ravens fucked up completely. They really did. I watched the game down the pub. They're up by 15 points, 40 to 25 with 3 minutes to go. And you're thinking, dude, mate, Lamar Jackson looks awesome. Their defense is on fire. Their running game with Derrick Henry cannot be stopped. And how good is it to see that the Ratbird Ravens Super Bowl contenders. Look, they are. This team is a Super Bowl contending team. They are fucking a really great team. They're an awesome team, but they have John Harbaugh and they can't finish. They fucking suck. They just do this all the time. And that's a big difference between the Steelers now, because we have the winning mentality where we can win these games 1-0, come back with Rodgers. And this is the fucking funny part, is that the Ravens are so talented. And I hope to goodness if they go to the playoffs, I hope they lose again, because these are the games they should win in Buffalo, up by 15. Finish the fucking game. Do not fumble. Do not do what they did. Derrick Henry fumbled the ball. He dropped his lettuce, and next minute they're back in front. G'day, Jedi. What's going on? Welcome back, mate. Yeah, me too. I wasn't a fan either, but man, he's making me a believer. I'm the same way. He's definitely cool, calm, collected. I like the way how he answers questions in the media. They always try and get him to bait. So, like, there was one question asked about Rodgers where they said they tried to get him to bait and say, what your thoughts on Aaron Glenn? He's like, you know what? I'm happy beating everyone, not just happy beating the Jets owner. I'm happy beating everyone from the Jets. He's doing the right thing for sure. I've got to go. I've watched highlights, but I don't know exactly around it. I don't know. Someone said in the Discord that they only ran 7 yards, but the Browns missed a field goal, And I think as well that Myles Garrett had 2 sacks. And Browns defense is good. I think the Browns are a good team, to be honest. I know it sounds crazy, but the Browns are a good team, and they just find ways to lose too. They're a good side, and aren't we lucky to have Chris Boswell because they missed a 39-yard field goal. Hurly-durly. But yeah, fuck you. Fuck you, Ravens. Fuck you, Ravens. 0-1, fuck you, Ravens. Hey, Mark, when can we do a show together? You got to reach out to me on Twitter. Text me on Twitter or send me an email. We can organize it. I'm just going to find time. We have to find time. I can definitely do it, but time is the issue. But yeah, reach out to me on Twitter on Stills or send me a text. We'll figure it out. Yeah, crazy. I do see that too. I think he's got the code. I think Aaron Rodgers has the code from Mike Tomlin. I think that he shuts down Brooke real quick. Brooke does like emotional leading feeling questions, a lot of feeling, a lot of emotion, and they just shut it down. It's fucking funny, bro. It's good. All right, let's get out of here though. No, that's not Owen. That's no, it's Penn's Men's Sports. He runs a YouTube channel and Twitter channel out there talking about all Penn sports. But yeah, if you want to, I don't know where Owen is. I don't think Owen does still content anymore. I think he does he does soccer stuff like that. But yeah, if you want to, reach out to me on Twitter at SteelersOz and text me that way. We can organize it. But thing to me is time. Time is hard because I'm from the future, and yeah, 100%. I'm from the future, and what's the word? It's just tough, man. Fuck, I got to go to work. I'm going to work in like 20 minutes. I'm going to work in half an hour. So, Steeler Nation, fuck you, Ravens, and thanks, guys, for checking out this channel, or coming to support the channel and support the G'day Steelers Nation. I've got to chop this up, and because I can't swear in the first one. We are back. Steelers football is back. 1-0. I'm getting ready to go to fucking Dublin. I'll be sitting here in Croke Park with a beverage and probably a hot dog. And, you know, Steelers terrible towel in one hand and then hot dog in the other, beer in the other. Doing this. Keen. Heaps keen. All right. I got to go to work, though. So I get you guys. I got to have to leave, eh? Oh, yeah. And fuck you, Ravens. Fucking Ravens. Yeah, I got to teach some guys how to, I'm showing another group how to like play pickleball. I don't know what I'm doing today. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm coaching pickleball, I'll tell you that much. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow, I think. I'll see you guys tomorrow, Bubba and Shane. I'll see you guys later. Hey, Rod. Put the light. Left the light on. See you later. Bye.